Good morning, everyone. I am MALIK, a student of Kanla College affiliated to the University of Bardhaman. This presentation has been prepared for the course EPC 3 Critical Understanding of ICT Semester 4. The topic of my presentation is Teaching with Multimedia e-Content. Through this presentation, I will discuss how multimedia can make learning more interesting and effective. As an example, I will use the comic story Land of the Pharaoh to demonstrate how images, text, and visual storytelling can enhance students' understanding and engagement in the classroom. So, let us begin. The lesson that I have selected for this multimedia presentation is Land of the Pharaoh. From the English textbook Blossom for class 6 published by the West Bengal Board of Secondary Education. This lesson is presented in the form of comic story which combines pictures, dialogues to make learning interesting and enjoyable for students. The story takes us to ancient Egypt, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, though the experience of the young boy named Isan. We learn about the Pharaoh, the pyramid, the Sphinx, the river Nile, and many other fascinating aspects of Egyptian history and culture. Before we begin the story, let us first understand what comics are and how they help us learn in an engaging way. So, before we begin the story, let us learn a little about Egypt. Egypt is a country located in the northeast part of Africa. It is one of the oldest civilizations in the world and is famous for its rich history, magnificent monuments, and unique culture. The river Nile, the longest river in the world, has placed and also played a very important role in the development of Egyptian civilization. Egypt is often called the land of Pharaoh. The Pharaoh were the kings and the rulers of the ancient Egypt. They governed the country for thousands of years and were respected as powerful leaders. Under their rule, many remarkable students such as pyramids, temples, and statues were built. The achievement of the pharaohs, along with their rich culture and advanced civilization, continue to fascinating people. Even today, this is why Egypt is proudly known as the land of the pharaoh. Now, before the exploring the journey of the Isan in Egypt, let us understand the special storytelling from in which this lesson is presented, the comic. Now let us understand the literary form used in the lesson. Land of the Pharaoh is presented as a comic. A comic is a genre of literature that tells a story through a combination of pictures and words. Instead of long pharaohs and long paragraphs, comics use illustration, speech bubbles, and short dialogues to make the story easy and enjoyable to read. Comics help readers understand the character, even an emotion more clearly because they can both see and read it what is happening. This makes learning more interesting, especially for young learners. In the classroom, comics can be an effective multimedia resource as they combine the visual and textual elements to improve the engagement and comprehension. Let us now explore the important elements that make up a comics. The understanding of comics. Properly, we need to know its key element. A comic is much more than just pictures and words. It is an unique form of visual storytelling that combines images, text, and design to present a story in an engaging way. So there we can see the panel, gutter, images, symbols and visual and sequentiality. These are the key elements of comics. And comics are more than just pictures and words. They are unique art form that tells the story in visual way. Next we will learn why are comics important. They make reading fun and engaging. They can explore complex ideas in a simple way. They connect with people of all ages and cultures. They inspire creativity and imagination. Now, let us examine one of the most important features of comics, which is panel and gutters. A panel is a box or frame that contains a part of the story. Each panel shows a particular movement, action, or event. As reader move from one panel to another panel, they follow the progress of the story. On the other hand, gutter is the empty space between two panels. Although it may look like a simple gap, it plays a very important role. For example, in this slide, the comic sequence, we see a boy running to catch a bus. Each panel here shows a different movement of the action, and the gutter help us connect these movements and imagine the events that happen in between. Therefore, panels shows the story step by step, while gutters help the readers fill in the missing action through their imagination. Another important element of the comic is the use of symbol. See, there are some pictures. A drawing of a cow represents a real cow, right? So this is a picture of cow. This is not a cow. And next example, these are the flowers of the picture. So these are not the real flower. Next, another important features of the comics is sequentiality. So sequentiality means arranging images, panels and events in a particular order to tell a story. Instead of presenting information all at once, comics show the events step by step, allowing readers to follow the narrative easily. Next we will talk about the types of sequence. So here we can see movement to movement, action to action, subject to subject, scene to scene and aspect to aspect. Next, now we are entering the main story where Isan and his mother visited the two famous places, Cairo and Giza. Through their journey, we learn about the magnificent pyramids, the great Sphinx, and the rich history of the Pharaoh. Before we begin the story, let us meet the main characters. So here we can see Isan, Isan's mother, and the Sphinx. Cairo. There are two cities. So Cairo is the capital city of Egypt and is situated on the bank of the river Nile, and near the Cairo lies Giza, which is famous for its pyramids and Great Sphinx, where millions of tourists visit every year. Next, we talk about the history of Egypt. To understand the story better, we need to know something about the ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt was one of the greatest civilizations in human history. It flourished along the river Nile for thousands of Egypt. And there are also many things, you will check it out. Next, ancient Egypt civilization. So, the civilization began along the fertile banks of the river Nile, which provide water, food, and transportation. Powerful rulers known as Pharaoh and governed the land and built the impressive monuments and pyramids. And the architectures, daily life, religion, and trade and economy, science and knowledge, art and culture, beliefs and artful life, and their writing. So this all actually inspired the whole world. Next, we talk about the tomb of the Tutankhamun. He was the young pharaoh of Egypt. The tomb of Tutankhamun was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter. It is one of the most famous discoveries in ancient Egypt. And beside that, you can see the golden marks, golden throne, treasure fund, and his tomb was filled with amazing treasures, jewelry, chariots, and golden treasures. So, if we see, so we find out that Egypt has a great history. In the next slide, we can see in the story, Isan start liking the history, and if we read this story, so we will see that we will find out how the Sphinx helped Isan to know the history of Egypt. So, thank you everyone for hearing me.